Ladies and gentlemen, now available via my ProWrestlingTees.com online shop, Get Off My TV. The perfect shirt you could be wearing every Monday night when we see the likes of Kane, The Big Show, Ryback, and among many others that we just can't stand to see on Monday nights. I now bring to you and available for purchase this weekend, starting today. Get Off My TV, man. ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script, $19.99. Get your new merchandise and support Off The Script today. Once again, that's ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is number 97, part number 3 of the number one source right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. This is Off The Script, the number one fucking podcast in your subscription boxes right here on YouTube.com, man. Hope you guys had a great weekend. This is part number 3. It's been one of those weekends where it's been pretty hard to find news for the WWE, being that, you know, it's the Christmas week and we're getting ready to, go into the Royal Rumble. There's not really that much towards the end of the year, but I do have a few pieces of information for you guys right here on part number 3. Apparently, Vince McMahon is coming back to Monday Night Raw for the last Raw of the year at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. I got news on that and what he might be doing right here on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that. I also got news on Jeff Hardy and what he is saying about a potential WWE return, plus so much more. If you guys want to subscribe, please go ahead and do so. Like I always say each and every week, this is the number one source for WWE right here on YouTube.com. Nobody but JD and Joe Cronin give you the WWE news like it should be, okay? So that's that. Number 2, if you guys are not following me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. I'm on there all day long. I read all your messages. Thank you guys so much for reaching out to me all weekend long, wishing me a happy holiday. Greatly appreciate it. I also do live tweeting during Monday Night Raw, NXT TakeOver, and obviously all the pay-per-view. So make sure you're following me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. And if you don't have your very own hashtag Get Off My TV t-shirt, they are now on sale and they're selling very, very well. Get yours today, $19.99. They do ship within the United States, obviously, as well as internationally. You guys can represent Get Off My TV, the second official piece of merchandise on Pro Wrestling Tees when it comes to Off The Script. You could also buy this one here that I'm wearing, the official prototype t-shirt of Off The Script. The Get Off My TV t-shirt is actually a lot nicer. I went through Dave Bogart of Pro Wrestling Tees, and I gave him an idea for the design. He got back to me within 2 days, and it looks absolutely brilliant, man. So if you guys are watching Monday Night Raw and you see Santino Marella, if you see Ryback, if you see Kane, Big Show, and anybody else that you can't stand on WWE television, represent that shirt with some fucking pride, man. Hashtag Get Off My TV. ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script. So go get yours today, all right? And I will be doing a WrestleCred unboxing as well next week. I should be getting it next week. I don't know what's going on with the UPS guy here in New York City. They've been very, 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 very busy. I didn't get mine yet. I'm seeing some people across YouTube who also do wrestling content are getting theirs. I haven't gotten mine. I always seem to get mine last. I don't know why, but next week I should have it, and you guys should have a WrestleCrate unboxing right in the beginning of part 1 for episode number 98 of Off The Script right here on YouTube.com. Now, let's get into the news, guys. I got some big news on Vince McMahon coming back to Monday Night Raw. And there's only one reason why Vince McMahon would be back. Obviously, it does play into storylines, but it also makes sense because the Monday Night Raw ratings dipped below again right after Roman Reigns won the WWE Championship. They actually fell 19% or 17%, anywhere between 17 and 20% from when Roman Reigns won the WWE Championship. They fell pretty significantly following that episode of Monday Night Raw. But Vince McMahon is back to Monday Night Raw yet again, according to World Wrestling Entertainment, and this broke via WWE.com. It appears that he will be trying to turn Roman Reigns into his next Stone Cold Steve Austin. Back in 1996, Vince McMahon decided to stop hiding the fact that he was more than a color commentator for WWE. He started letting fans know that he was actually the owner of the company. While Steve Austin was feuding with Owen Hart, Vince McMahon wanted the Stone Cold character to defy authority, so he allowed himself to take a Stone Cold Stunner in the ring. The hope at the time was that adding that wrinkle to the character would make Stone Cold Steve Austin even more over with the audience. Looking back, it worked out better than brilliantly. When Bret Hart walked away from the company after the infamous Montreal screw job, Vince McMahon received legitimate heat from his performers and the fans because of the sympathy. Rather than doing the typical public relations move of apologizing, Vince McMahon opted to capitalize on the situation by tugging at those emotional strings for his own personal gains. It worked out better than expected as the legitimate heat turned into character heat, which is what every heel wants from the audience, which is why Vince McMahon and the Mr. McMahon character is the greatest heel in professional wrestling. Heels want to hear those boos and catcalls. Once Vince McMahon got the audience to hate him, he turned it and utilized that to help his performers become more popular. Stone Cold Steve Austin became a much bigger star because of that. And yes, I understand the fact that many of you came to me with every good face deserves a good heel to work alongside of him. I understand that. And in most cases, that is the absolute truth. But there's no reason for WWE to be dipping into the cookie jar for yet another rehashed storyline. I'll talk about that in a second. WWE is hoping to catch lightning in a bottle once again. This time, Vince McMahon wants to use his ability to generate heel heat in order to help Roman Reigns become even more popular. 2 weeks ago, Vince McMahon stepped into the ring and allowed himself to take a Superman punch from Roman Reigns. WWE fans reacted extremely favorable to that moment. That is the reason why Vince McMahon is making yet another return to Monday Night Raw this coming Monday. The official WWE website announced that the CEO was coming back for his revenge, and there's a good chance that Vince McMahon will get the better of Roman Reigns this week, so that the latter can get comeback revenge the following week or any time thereafter. The fact that Vince McMahon is willing to do this for Roman Reigns shows that he really wants to help his hand-picked main event performer to be prepared to take over the top spot in the WWE from John Cena whenever that time may call. After years of being an on-screen character and sometimes an in-ring performer, Vince McMahon decided to step away from the cameras and focus solely on being backstage for WWE. Vince McMahon stated that he would only come back to television if it was something that was really needed. Roman Reigns lost the audience, so McMahon was really felt that he needed to be back for this. Once Vince McMahon is done, I should say, expect him to fade back into the background. The goal for the goal for WWE is to get fans to buy into Triple H and Stephanie McMahon as the authority figures. The belief is that Vince McMahon wants a huge match between Roman Reigns and Triple H, who is great at generating heel heat, to take place at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas. Since that is a big money match, the hope is that Roman can officially take over the top spot in WWE from John Cena, who now wants to focus on things outside of the company. Those that don't want to see Roman Reigns in the top spot should simply accept the fact that WWE is going to make it happen, regardless of how some people feel. It's what they want. Vince McMahon is making sure Roman Reigns takes over WWE. All right, the only reason why, and I stated this, if you guys did not watch my Behind the Mic video, the Tuesday after Roman Reigns won the WWE Championship, I would highly advise that you go watch it. It's 40 minutes talking about why I hated the WWE Championship win and that entire moment on Monday Night Raw, okay? I don't hate Roman Reigns. I know WWE wants Roman Reigns. I know Roman Reigns is a hand-picked guy. I wish things were done a little bit more organically. But in the end, I'm going to say this again. Roman Reigns is hand-picked, yes. Roman Reigns has struggled with what WWE Creative has given him. Yes. Roman Reigns really hasn't shown us who he really is thanks to WWE Creative. Yes, I understand this. But WWE threw Roman Reigns out there pretty much to fail at every twist and turn on Monday Night Raw. So it only took Vince McMahon to come back to WWE TV because the ratings were falling worse and worse each and every week. Monday Night Raw has become an utter embarrassment each and every week. You know, you popped one good rating when Roman Reigns won the title. You generated some excitement. And then what happened? The Slammy Awards came. Everybody figured that, you know what? WWE is riding this momentum. We got a new WWE champion. People are going to want to see what WWE does next. And what do? They do nothing to build upon what happened that night. And the ratings fell 17%. You can't call upon Vince McMahon every time there's a bad Monday Night Raw. You can't call upon Vince McMahon every time the ratings slip. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. So, see, you guys fail to understand that what WWE has done here is put all their eggs in one basket with Roman Reigns. And I stated this several times, not only this weekend, but over the past week as well. You can't do that. You're neglecting the rest of the roster for one man. He didn't get over on his own, so WWE said, you know what? We need Vince McMahon to get him over because he's not going to do it on his own. That's desperation. And as far as making Roman Reigns the next Stone Cold Steve Austin, what else did you expect the fans to do in that situation? It was a heat of the moment situation. Looking back at it now, all it does to me is show me that WWE was desperate to get this guy over because there was literally no other way of getting him over. And I hope on Monday Night Raw, when they go into Brooklyn, I hope all of this backfires. I hope everything with Vince McMahon backfires. This is New York City. This is a wrestling city. This is not going to be the fucking family-friendly Philadelphia that was when Roman Reigns won the title. This is Brooklyn, New York. Okay? They're going to be more rabid than Philadelphia was a couple of weeks ago. I can guarantee you that. I hope when Vince McMahon gets his revenge on Roman Reigns, that people cheer Vince McMahon. I hope that everything backfires as this storyline is moving forward. Because I want them to understand that handpicking somebody is not the way to go anymore. Because you want something to be doesn't mean everybody is going to be in agreement with it. That's why I'm on here always giving you guys my opinion, whether it's different from everybody else. And the only reason why I always get frustrated with other people's opinions, and you got fucking people in my comments section saying, JD's going to block you if you don't agree with him. No, I'm not going to block you if you don't agree with me. I'm going to block you if you treat me with disrespect and tell me to get cancer because I don't agree with what you think about Roman Reigns winning the WWE Championship. Okay? That's the only reason why I would block you. People spam me constantly telling me that I'm a fucking asshole and I'm an idiot because I don't know what I'm talking about. That's when you get benched. Okay? Other than that, I don't give a shit who agrees with me or don't agree with me, man. My comment section is open. The only comments that I don't allow in my comment section are the ones that are overly negative. Okay? The ones that are telling me to get hit by a bus. The ones that are telling me to drop dead. Go fuck yourself. You don't know what you're talking about. Those are the only comments that ever get banned. I would never go against anybody else's opinion. Your opinion is yours and mine is mine. That's why I'm sitting here behind the microphone here, giving you guys what I think about everything when it comes to WWE. Vince McMahon is banking on Roman Reigns to be another Stone Cold Steve Austin. There will never be another Stone Cold Steve Austin. Ever. This is a different day and age. It's a different product. You're presenting it in a completely different way. It's a different audience watching you. You know, it's nothing is working for Roman Reigns as far as being the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know? Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to be pretty successful with with how everything was transpiring back in the Attitude Era. Yes, Vince McMahon helped accelerate that, but Roman Reigns is no Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin had personality, he had attitude, and he had, you know, a plethora of good fucking heels to work with. Roman Reigns has nobody. Roman Reigns has no heels to work with. John Cena. They're thinking about doing John Cena versus Roman Reigns. That is completely terrible idea going into WrestleMania. Thank God that's pretty much out of the picture right now, because all I'm hearing right now is Triple H. Triple H, even with Triple H, he's 46 years old. 46 years old. And he's not even a full-time active performer. He wrestles once a year. Other than that, after this is all said and done, who is Roman Reigns going to feud with? You know? Are we going to get another long and drawn-out Sheamus feud? This is what I'm talking about. You guys don't think about the big picture. Roman Reigns has been built up. Fine. We're going to get Roman Reigns as champion. Fine. But who does he go up against? You know? Vince McMahon coming back wanting him to be the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not going to work that easy, man. It's not going to work and transition that easy into being the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yes, there are similarities, but you can't sit here and tell me that, you know, WWE is going to go full on with this Roman Reigns push and make him into the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's shown glimpses of being a badass. Meanwhile, he should have been booked the way he was at TLC for the remainder of 2015. For the entire year of 2015. But WWE didn't see that. They got him coming out talking about tater tots and fucking prunes and grapefruits. And have him be uncomfortable behind the microphone. No emotion at all. This is why I have a problem with the way WWE's handle this. One night is not going to make me believe in Roman Reigns. And the ratings prove that. So everything that I pretty much said about this is true. Everything that I said about Roman Reigns and the direction of the company following this episode of Monday Night Raw when he did win the title from Sheamus is true. Now you know why I am upset. Now you know why I was so animated when I came on here. Because nobody looked past what happened on that Monday Night Raw. You were all happy for a great episode of Raw. Fine. But none of you thought about what would happen to follow that. And now we're getting it. Now we're getting it. Vince McMahon's going to be there because the ratings slipped again. Monday Night Raw was awful last week. And he needs to be there to generate some more excitement because there is no other alternative to generate excitement on Monday Night Raw. There's nobody. And that's sad. It's sad that the fact is that we need Vince McMahon to come to Monday Night Raw to generate excitement. If you're okay with that, then you really aren't thinking about the long-term success and the long-term, you know, planning of the company. This is a step-by-step situation. They take Monday Night Raw step by step, week by week. You know, you got one good week with Vince McMahon there. He's not there the next week, and they don't build off anything that happened with Roman Reigns, and they fail. And it goes to show you, WWE needs to constantly be ahead of the game when they book wrestling shows. And this is just another desperate attempt to generate a rating spike for another week. And where do they go after this, going into the first Monday Night Raw 2016? We don't know. We might go back to a shit show again because Vince McMahon is not there. Are we going to call Vince McMahon every time the ratings plummet? No. That's your own fault. The ratings could be mediocre and slowly on the rise if you actually built characters and got behind the rest of your roster who gave a shit, you know? If you gave a shit about the roster. But no, you want to fucking put all your effort and sweat and blood into Roman Reigns and forget about everybody else. Roman Reigns takes up 20 minutes of the show. You got 3 hours to fill. And then the rest of the show is filled with people we don't care about. In storylines we don't care about. Get the fucking picture. Okay? Get it through your heads. What WWE is doing right now is nothing but desperate. And Vince McMahon's going to be on Monday Night Raw simply to generate excitement because there is no other ways for WWE to do that. And that's what I've been saying all along. Last week's NXT TakeOver London event had Enzo Amore and Big Cass challenge Dash and Dawson for the NXT Championship. The way the feud was built and the serious turn Cass and Enzo's characters took going into London made them look like a shoo-in to win the NXT Championship. Or the NXT Tag Team Championship. And I thought they would. And I thought they would definitely get their time to be champions. I didn't think Dash and Dawson had any longevity as Tag Team Champions. Not because I don't like them. But because I don't think there's really much to their characters. they're a throwback to old school, but they are a way throwback to old school. And I don't know how that's going to transition and translate on NXT television. I really don't. But regardless of that, Dash and Dawson retained the tag team championships. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and the champs retained. However, the rumors are swirling that's because the powers that be have bigger plans for Enzo and Cass. The rumor mill came out with the idea of Big Cass and Enzo making their move to the main roster very, very soon. Recently, one-third of the WWE Tag Team Champions, Big E, was asked about who he'd like to see come up to the main roster from NXT and feud with the New Day. Which NXT tag team should be called up to the main roster? I think the three of us tend to look at NXT. I think it's always important to look at the future of the company. We are excited about giving younger teams an opportunity. There's a lot of great teams in NXT, but if I had to pick one, I'd say Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy might be the best. I think they provide a different rivalry for us. On the New Day, I had a lot of fun doing the 5-count thing in NXT. It was a crowd favorite, babyface role. But what we're doing now has been the best time of my career as far as visibility and progression and just enjoying it. I feel like we are uninhibited and having a lot of fun. They are allowed to be themselves. They're allowed to be free and go out there and just be themselves. And that's what's getting the New Day characters over and the New Day gimmick over on WWE television. As far as WWE calling up Enzo and Cass, listen, it should have been done in Brooklyn after SummerSlam. They failed at that. Now you got Monday Night Raw in Brooklyn to close out the year. Could we see a surprise to end the final Raw of Monday night in 2015? I would like to think so. I think bringing Enzo and Cass to Brooklyn is the right time. Honestly, I don't think they have anything else to prove down in NXT. They've been there for 3 years. I mean, what else are you going to plan for them down in NXT? I think they are ready enough. I think they have the gimmick. I think they have the attitude. I think they have the energy to succeed in the tag team division on Monday Night Raw, especially if you debut them in Brooklyn, where a lot of people are going to know who they are, and there's going to be a lot of smart wrestling fans in the crowd. I think that would translate well on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. But we're going to have to see what's going to happen with that. I can only hope that we see some excitement with Enzo and Cass on Monday Night Raw in Brooklyn on Monday, but if they don't bring them up, I don't see when you could. Really, I just don't see when you could bring them up. You know, they failed at a few opportunities right now, but I would love to see them on the main roster, and I think they would be a great challenge for the New Day. A few days ago, it was reported that both Michael Bennett and his wife, Maria Kanellis, were officially done with their commitments for Ring of Honor. The couple was rumored to be headed to NXT or WWE in early 2016. However, the rumors, as of a few days ago, were that Bennett and Kanellis are headed to TNA. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Bennett and former WWE diva Maria Kanellis are officially getting contracts with TNA for guaranteed money. The Wrestling Observer newsletter is reporting that both Michael Bennett and Maria are getting guaranteed deals in TNA. The details of their deals are allowing the couple to work TNA's schedule, which includes several shows in early January, but they can also continue to work independent bookings. The guaranteed money is rumored to be significantly higher for each one than what Ring of Honor offers. The guaranteed money is rumored to be significantly higher for each of them in comparison to what they would have been making in NXT as well as Ring of Honor. The only unfortunate part of the deal is that although they are allowed to do independent bookings, as long as it doesn't stop them from their commitments in TNA, the new deal is most likely, or most likely means that both Bennett and Maria won't be able to return to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So Maria and Michael Bennett heading to TNA. You know, there was rumors going around that TNA wants to stock up on big talent for their live TNA special that is going to debut on Pop TV in 2016. I was hoping that Michael Bennett and Maria would come to WWE and give NXT yet another boost as far as star power goes, but this is just, you know, one of those instances where money talks, and you really can't blame them. They took the guaranteed deal. They took the more money. TNA is getting ready for a big television debut on Pop TV, and they figured both Michael Bennett and Maria could make an impact as far as TNA goes on Pop TV. I would love to see both of them in NXT, but I think WWE is going to have a lot more opportunities to get prime talent in NXT as far as AJ Styles, if he's healthy enough, and Jay Lethal, and you know, anybody else that's out there that WWE has their eye on. Those are the two big names right now, Jay Lethal and AJ Styles. WWE's got one thing to worry about, and that's making sure NXT is stocked with talent, because you're not going to have Finn Balor down there forever. You're not going to have Samoa Joe down there forever. You're not going to have the Baron Corbins down there forever, Apollo Crews, you know. So WWE needs to be on top of what's going on in the independent scene. They let these two slip away. That's okay. There's going to be more fish in the sea when it comes to NXT. But like I said, WWE's main priority right now, I'm assuming, is going to be Jay Lethal and AJ Styles in 2016. But Maria and Michael Bennett headed to TNA with guaranteed money for their debut on Pop TV in January 2016. All right. What else we got here? Finally, guys, to end this week's Off the Script, I got news on Jeff Hardy. Ric Flair welcomed Jeff Hardy to his podcast, where he discussed his knee injury that I reported here on Off the Script, as well as a potential return to WWE, which I also reported here on Off the Script, which Hardy calls a huge possibility. All right. He also goes on to say, and Ric Flair asks, what does he plan to do about his injury? I'm going to try and wrestle with a knee brace in January. I say I'm going to see what it feels like and where it goes, but I'm kind of scared, honestly, to see what it feels like, because I don't want to hurt it worse, but I'm going to give it a shot. I think I'm going to try a few easy matches just to see how it feels. I'm just going to avoid landing on my knees and maybe not doing as many moves as I normally would do, just to see how it goes. But ultimately, I'm going to end up having surgery sometime early next year, and sadly, I'll be missing most of 2016. Will the Hardy Boys make a return to WWE? He says, I think there's a huge possibility down the road. I'm not sure when, but I think both Matt and myself would love to end our careers in the WWE, and I think it'd be super. Double great to be able to have a few more good ones with the Dudley Boys for sure. As far as us returning and having some matches with them, it all depends on how long they're going to be there and how long it takes us to get there. I mean, but definitely it's a possibility. I'm just not sure when right now. And finally, Ric Flair asks, what else would he like to accomplish in WWE? And Jeff Hardy says, I've done almost everything I've wanted to, but I guess there are two big things. And I mean, those two big things are huge. And those are, I never got to do a Hell in a Cell in WWE. That's a pretty big one. And I've never main evented a WrestleMania. So ultimately, if it could all work out one day before it's all over, I'd like to do those two things. And like I said, it's a matter of when and not if the Hardy Boys will be back in the WWE. They will be back in the WWE, and it's unfortunate that Jeff has to go through this surgery. I wish he was healthy enough to come back before WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania with the Hardy Boys would have been out of this world, unbelievable. But Jeff Hardy, going to miss most of 2016, says he's going to try and wrestle with a knee brace, but you know, he's ultimately going to have to get surgery because he's only going to be working with half mobility. He's going to be wrestling with one leg and the other one's completely fucked up. So he's got to go get himself fixed. And we want Jeff Hardy as close to 100% as possible when he does make his return. Hardy Boys coming back to the WWE, feud with the Dudleys, Jeff Hardy in a Hell in a Cell. Jeff Hardy would want one more run for the WWE Championship. I'm sure everybody would love to see that. And like I said, it's only a matter of when and not if. But he is going to get surgery in 2016. Thank you guys for watching Off the Script this weekend. I had a very, very rough and long week of work. I am still very, very exhausted. I'm sure you guys can see that. I am absolutely drained, and I hope to be back to normal next week. Monday Night Raw review, I'll be back on Tuesday with the review of Monday Night Raw and what happens with Vince McMahon and Roman Reigns, and hopefully we get some Royal Rumble build for the big event in January, so look forward to that. I'll be back on Tuesday with Monday Night Raw review. I'll be right back here on Friday, as always, with number 98 of Off the Script, the #1 source for WWE news and rumors, right here on YouTube.com. And if you missed anything on my channel, everything you need is linked in the description below. Make sure you guys go check that out. Off the Script this weekend, WWE Universe Mode, episode number 3, my career mode on 2K16, plus so much more that you might have missed when it comes to the Roman Reigns situation. So that is all that, guys. Make sure to go get your pro wrestling tees. Get off my TV t-shirt. That is prowrestlingtees.com/offthescript. And I'll be back next week, as always, with WrestleCrate Unboxing. That's WrestleCrate.com. And on Twitter, at WrestleCrates. They also deliver to the United Kingdom. All the information you need is linked down below using the code JD sent me for an instant 10% off your first crate. I'll be back on Monday, guys, with Monday Night Raw review. Until then, take care, and I'll see you guys later.